Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Go for it.
Oh, so pretty.
It is so good. I love that intro. And if you're listening to the show, well, unfortunately you can't see the intro. You'll recognise the theme tune, but you need to go onto YouTube and watch it because it is tip top. Well, welcome back. It has been, almost 3 months since the last time we did this. This is Season 4. Episode 1 of the DC UK podcast. Welcome back, Tom. Welcome back, Daniel. How are you, gents?
Yeah, I'm good. It's nice to be back. I'm excited for another season with a very different looking team. It's going to be so great. I'm very excited.
Since the last time, the best hair in the game is still the best hair in the game, but kind of trimmed the waviness a little bit.
James is like,
what are you talking about? Look at this luscious locks.
I trimmed the waves a little bit, but it's a good thing we didn't start the show a little bit earlier because I was looking straight up like a Mormon dad of 12 beautiful children. Hello, my name is Daniel Smith. Pleasure to meet you. I looked awful. I had one of the worst haircuts I've ever had, but now it's starting to come back. I got a little bit of that product going. It's got the waves are coming in, and I'm feeling wavy about the season. So I'm feeling very good. It's just good to be back, and I'm gosh, it's been a wild off season. But I'm excited to get in here.
Oh, mate, it is just unreal, and I can already see comments coming through. The first one from Rithik. So, hey, Rithik, how are you doing? He's just congratulating me on the advancement of Middlesbrough in the FA Cup.
Why? I mean, it's been 2.5 minutes. All right, I'm just gonna. Do I have my headphones anywhere? I'm out for a little bit.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, that was a hell of a game.
It was a fun game. I was annoyed, but you know what? We should have scored more.
Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, my God, he's hit some amazing shots, and then he misses a wide open net. I mean, how do you do that? And yeah. I mean, the Middlesbrough goal was a little. That's
according to the rules. It was legal.
No. I will not stand by that. It definitely had an impact on the play.
I mean,
but he controlled it like this, brought it down, and then hit it over. You know what? It's fine. I'm not even mad.
No, I was expecting that to be ruled out. I was surprised we actually got that, but
we should have scored more. So I think we deserved it.
I was wondering if United could do it on a cold night in Borough, but no, we got the answer.
No,
they can't even. They're just useless now. You're absolutely useless.
Too many puddles. We've
had a comment about your shirts, Daniel.
Yes.
That's, Brian has just
brand
said
new.
Love the cherry blossom kit. It's gorgeous.
It looks good.
You gave me a bit of guff last season for lacking in the DC UK swag department. So when you put out the cherry blossom kit, I knew it. Here's the thing. I was waiting for you to put out the perfect thing, and this is exactly it right here. This is one of the most beautiful kits I've ever worn in my life. And this is it's just fantastic. It's one of those things like when I don't know, like this is one of those things where like the however it's displayed online, that does not do this thing justice, because there's just really nice little details, and right in the back you got
look at that. Look at that.
And it's just lovely. I love this kit so much. So
Yes.
it's great.
And if you're listening, I will tell you what the address is, but if you're watching, you'll see it come up on screen right now. So if you want one of those kits that Daniel is wearing right there, you can head to bit.ly, so bit.ly/DC UK Cherry. It is just such a gorgeous bit of kit. I'm disappointed I haven't got one myself, but that is being ordered after this. So hopefully, it won't be next week's show, because it takes ages to come through, because it's all made and shipped from the USA.
It's probably it's about half the price of the kit just to ship the thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's like $45 or something like that for their jersey, I think.
Man.
And then it's $23 to ship it.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing. I mean, that's like airline tickets, right? Taxes and fees.
Not with the taxes and fees we've seen recently, eh?
Well, I guess a little inside baseball with the DC UK supporter group chat. Sign up if you haven't yet. Get in the Twitter chat. It's really great. But yeah, after the Kevin Paredes move, we were kind of like looking at Wolfsburg. Yeah, how much does it cost to get to Germany and check out a game? And I looked up the price, and it's like $650, and it's the actual flight is $115, but then it's about $550 in taxes and fees, and it's like, what is this? That breaks my heart.
How is? I mean, I think I mentioned it in the group. It was just, how is that even possible? It just blows your mind.
It's the United States. It's the lobbying arms of the airlines, essentially being able to strong arm us into paying crazy prices.
Yeah, there's nobody else who's going to be doing it anyway. So it's just So
a bunch of DC fans looking for tickets to
Germany.
Yeah, I think we know.
This will just go. Whoosh.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like a plane that will fly high. So, I mean, what have you guys been up to over the last few months? I know, Daniel, you've had a bit of a crazy couple of months, haven't you?
I cut my hair and then I got engaged, and what a wild few months I've had.
Can I just ask, what was more important, the haircut or the engagement?
I think so. I think the engagement happened pre-haircut, and so thank goodness for that. No, we had a lovely little time. It was just before Christmas. We went to the state capitol. They do a Christmas tree display in there, and I was so sweaty. Oh my god, Were you a bit nervous? The entire weekend, I am hiding this ring from Adrian, and the whole day, I didn't know when we were going to go to the Capitol, so I just had the thing in my pocket the whole time. And I'm like, guys, is she going to notice it? It's like this big bulgy thing, and I'm like, oh my god. And then we get there, and I totally forgot that we were going through a metal detector. So I'm like trying to get her up front so that I could just like get all my stuff in that bin and like try to cover it up as much as possible. And they still like manhandled the thing and like exposed the ring, but luckily like she was not looking, so I was able to just get through, grab it, boom. And we're walking through, and I wanted to wait till we got to like this upper area. So we were going down the wings, and Adrian had a feeling, or she was like, okay, if he's going to ask, this is probably going to be the time to do it. So we go down one wing, I don't do it. We go down another wing, I don't do it. So now in her head, she's talking herself down like, okay, this might not be the time. I'm okay with this. This is fine. We go up to the upper area and we walk around a little bit more. And then finally, like I stop her and I'm like, boom, we were right in front of a tree. I dropped to a knee and I blacked out. Like, I don't even remember. I remember saying her name, a bunch of something, and then, will you marry me? And I guess I said the right things to make her say yes. So it
There
worked
you go.
out.
Well,
But
I
yeah,
think
no, we're in the thick of it now. We're getting married in
Yes.
June, and this is we're
Amazing.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can all say congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Better than my proposal.
How did that go?
Well, let's just put it this way. So we've been out for food and drink. It was we were celebrating her mum's birthday, from what I remember. I guess a few drinks had been taken, and we just get back on, and we're just lying there in bed, and I'm just starting talking absolute nonsense, and then I just went, you know what? Shall we do it? And she's like, what do you mean? Should we, just get married? It's like, what are you talking about? Hop out of bed, get down on one knee, and propose.
Hey,
It worked.
That's still
What do you
good.
say? Sometimes that's the best way to do it, though.
Yeah.
I think
Who
my parents
says?
got engaged on the London Tube. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's a bit different.
That is.
yeah. I think my dad was just like, "You fancy it?" And my mom was like, "Yeah." Like, all right.
Why not?
Yeah, all right.
Jose, depending on whether you speak Portuguese or you speak Spanish, he says, "Congrats, bro."
Thank you.
So,
It's gonna be my buddy Jose.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, good support. Thank you, brother.
So yeah, there you go. And Tom, anything major happen with you during the winter period?
Nothing in the last 3 months. I mean, I'm not gonna go into my whole work life. But
Don't.
yeah.
I don't think we've got enough time for that, have we?
Yeah, no, we don't. Just a lot of changes, but having fun new adventures and surviving.
Yeah, I mean, you've had a few snowstorms over there, from what I've seen in the news.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been all right though. We're finally getting in the thick of it. It was like 50 today, and I was like, all right, this might be it. Yeah.
I don't know what 50 is. Talk to me in Celsius, mate.
It would be
22.
yeah.
20 what Celsius?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's summer for us.
Oh, I know.
What? How did that happen?
And that's probably going to be the rise, and then by June, July, it will be about 39, 38 Celsius.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
We'll be over it.
Yeah. But
You people are weak. I'm out in shorts and a t-shirt on 50-degree weather.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, yeah. If it was like that over here, I'd probably be the same. But as you can see, behind me and my surroundings, it's completely new because I moved house 2 weeks before Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah, and then hosted Christmas. Because, that's how we roll over here. Because my wife is an absolute nutcase for that. Volunteered us. Just like, what are you doing? But we managed it. We got through it. And, I've got a new job.
There you go.
So, there you go. All change for all of us, I think. So, it's been pretty good. Anyway, should we talk some soccer?
Yes.
I'm down for it.
Yeah. Tom, do you know a person called Forrest?
I do.
Apparently you're hot, according to Forrest.
I'm what?
Hot.
I actually don't know who Forrest is.
So that guy told me it's hot. You've had a comment. Lovely. There you go. Someone's got...
Oh, I just told him to join, and here we are. I said, come give us support, and I regret it immediately.
There you go, man. There we go. Right up on screen.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. Yep, and
Yeah.
that's the email too. There we go.
There you go.
He's an Arsenal fan, so I've been giving him stick all day for the Arsenal game.
Yeah. What happened? I saw Martinelli got sent off.
Martinelli got 2 yellow cards in 1 play. I haven't checked yet. I don't know where in the rule book that's allowed.
Unless he said something.
He first went over to the guy trying to do a throw in, tried to grab the ball. So apparently that was a yellow.
Yeah,
and then he went over and tackled a guy from behind, and apparently that was a second yellow in the same run of play.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just want to find in the rules where that's okay, but I mean, I'm not going to complain.
No, I mean, I think it makes sense to. It would be unfair if you could just do two things in one play and only get punished for one of those.
That was my other thought.
Yeah.
So it's like if you get one, you're going to get a yellow. Do you get a freebie?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm fair with that. I'm happy with that. Right. Anyway, actual show stuff because we're 16 minutes in and we actually haven't even really started yet.
Sorry.
Yeah,
a lot of catching up.
A lot of catching up. It's the first one of the season. We're allowed it. First thing, new part of the show. We're gonna do a little game called Guess DC Who. All this is about. So I will go through a player who has a connection with DC United at some point in their career. They could be playing at the moment. They could be retired. They might not even play for the club. They might be a coach. But at some point they will have had that connection with the club. So I'm going to run through a couple of things. I'm going to show the outline of the person up on screen in a brief moment. Here we go. There we go. So that is the person there. So for you folks who are watching at home, I want you to hit me up in the chat to let me know who you think this person is. And I've got to make sure I don't give it away straight away. So first things first, this player, so it is a player, I will allow that, is still a current player. They were born in Indianapolis, Indiana. They started their career in 2010 at Chicago Fire Premier. So Chicago Fire's old youth team. They then moved to DC United. And Daniel, I see your face is looking down. Are you cheating?
No.
Are you cheating?
No, not at all.
They then moved to the UK. I'm not going to say which team it is because that will probably give it away. They then moved to Denmark. And then they're back in MLS where they're playing for their second team. Well, they moved twice in MLS now. So, any initial thoughts?
You said they're playing for the second team?
So they're playing they've went from Denmark to an MLS team. And then they've transferred since then. So they've been traded.
How long we got?
I mean, we've got until the end of the show. So if you don't want to say anything right now, you don't need to. We'll come back to it later so you can have a good think about it. But that is your player right there. So up on screen, you got your player. He's born in Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana. Started off at Chicago Fire Premier. Moved to DC United. Moved to the UK, then to Denmark, and now back in MLS. It's a toughie.
Man.
This is a really hard one.
There you go. What a start, eh?
I no, because
what's going through your head?
Perry Kitchen, but I know that's absolutely wrong. But man. Yeah. No, that's
struggling with that. Fair?
Yeah.
Fair? Right. But we will come back to it at the end of the show. There has been a Rithick thinks it's Perry Kitchen. So there has been that guess in the chat. Any other?
He went to Ireland, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not him.
Well, there you go. So we will answer that at the end of the show. We'll come for some final guesses at the end. But we're going to move on to some news now. So, first things first, transfers, because, it's been a bit of a busy off-season, hasn't it, guys? We've had a few transfers.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's been very crazy. I'm just looking through. So, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 transfers in and out.
Yep.
Pretty hectic. That's actual transfers, and I'm not including players who've been released like Felipe or potentially Junior Moreno, depending on whether he agrees to a new deal or not. But 7 actual transfers which have had something attached to it. Paul Arriola obviously went to FC Dallas for that record domestic trade. What did we think about that when it went through? We're sad like everyone else.
I
think that's a yes.
that sent shockwaves, and for all the players, none of them ever left a bad taste in my mouth, with them leaving. So, for me, I always understand that a lot of these guys, they have their career in mind. I think as fans, sometimes we get very caught up in the tradition and prestige of the team and all of that. But at the end of the day, these guys, they're trying to do what's best for themselves. And, there are certain players who are definitely mercenaries, and they're, moving along, however they see fit. But, for these guys, none of them ever struck me as, how could they do that? Like, no, I totally, whatever their reasons are, I'm sure it's totally fine, and I wish them nothing but the best, except, if they play DC United, I hope they take the L. I not necessarily hope they don't do well or get injured or whatever like that, but I just hope that it's an L. That's all I have to take at that point.
Tom, what were your thoughts on Paul leaving us?
Yeah, I mean, I think Daniel had it pretty right. I mean, it's sad to see someone that, they love watching, this and that, but, players have to move on. And we saw a lot of players move on this summer. Yeah. So this summer, what am I saying?
Summer? I mean, for you, it's a summer to come forward. That's how I would say it.
It's 50 degrees out. It's summer in Millsburg. But yeah, I mean, it's sad to see him go, but I hope he does all right. Happy for his time with us, and hopefully we've done the right replacements for him.
Yes. Now, I think the big reason for him leaving was because obviously it's the World Cup year, isn't it? So he obviously wants to be right in the limelight, making sure he's got his place in the squad secured.
Yeah.
Were you surprised it was to another MLS team he went to rather than to a Mexican team, or whether it was to Europe? Were you surprised it was another MLS team?
No.
No?
He had his moment in Europe, and I would almost say that he's had the sample of playing internationally, and maybe he's just like, no, I feel more comfortable playing, in North America, or at least on this side of the hemisphere. So I think he definitely wants to. He's got family here, and it might just be one of those things. But I'm not in his head. I don't know anything, but if it were me, and just sort of seeing the experience that he had, that's how I would sort of deduce that. But again, not in his head, and he's got his own reasons, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, fair. Other transfers or trades I'm going to go through. We got an international slot from Nashville for 250,000 GAN, which I think you're going to go through in a bit, aren't you, Daniel?
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to teach us all about GAN and TAM. And then Ted, TKD, signed in from Loudoun. Thoughts on that one, Tom?
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing too big. I mean, we'll see. A lot of these guys from Loudoun get traded up and down, between playing for Loudoun and playing for DC. So it's every time someone goes from Loudoun up to DC, I think of it as, for how long. So we'll see. I mean, I'm always interested with the new player coming up the ranks.
Yeah, I think it's great that he's been signed to a homegrown contract, and I think there's been a lot of hype around him. I know the guys over at RFK Refugees had him on their podcast, and we're really excited to see him. And the way he plays is very very good. So I'm massively excited to see what he can produce. Really, definitely a good depth option for us going through the season because we definitely need that depth. We don't want to have what happened last season where you had 16 players out at one point, something like that. So the big transfer. I know Paul was a big one, but flip the neck, it got even worse for us in terms of outgoings. Kevin Paredes over to Wolfsburg. We were talking about their shirts before the show, not even during the show. I don't know. I'm losing track of time. Hey ho. But yeah, Kevin Paredes over to Wolfsburg in Germany. Sad to see him go. Sad. I mean, the video, I think, choked us all up. Seeing him doing his little farewell speech, just like, oh my word, no.
Oh, that was the worst.
That was heavy. Absolutely. Then he did it. Then they released an interview with Claudia Pagan, and it was just like, oh no, stop it, KP, stop it! You're making us all cry. Where's the onions? Why is there so many onions around? But my word, I'm pleased for him. I'm really pleased.
I wanted him to stay for one more season, but you know what? Yeah. When a club comes around and they're asking, you gotta let the kid go. He's so good, and he's in the Bundesliga, so we can watch him still. I'm interested to see how he gets into that 11.
Yes, yeah, I know. We got $7 million for him as well, so it was a pretty tasty sum of money that we got, and because he was homegrown and under 21, we get all of that. None of it goes to the MLS, does it?
Correct.
So, still don't understand why they do that, but there you go.
That is it was really shrewd, and I think it will be, and there's, I don't know the specifics, but there is a sell-on clause with him as well. So, there is more money to come off of that. And I'm not sad about that either. He is a spark plug who was super fun to watch. I enjoyed every second he was on the field last season. And so, I have no heavy feelings about that. I am super happy for the kid. And now that he's with Wolfsburg, who their position on the table isn't fantastic, but hopefully they stay up in the Bundesliga. I'm excited to see, when he makes his first team debut, and I'm excited to see him on weekends. So that's gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a few people have already had the Wolfsburg jersey shipped in as well. So that's great to see. And they took out an ad, Washington Times, I think, rather than the Washington Post, saying, welcome to KP to Wolfsburg. I was surprised by that. It was a nice touch, that, I thought.
Yeah, apparently
good exposure.
Yeah, apparently the Bundesliga has done that through whichever MLS cities that they've done trades with.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I like that. And then we got a straight replacement in with Brad Smith from Seattle Sounders. I'm not sure what to make of that. I mean, there's been talk of him being quite an attacking player. He's got a good cross on him. Basically, left-footed version of Julian Gressel, which can't be too bad. Can it now? If we can get balls into whoever's going to play up top for us.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the thing where we don't really know what the full 11 is going to be on day one, but we can only speculate for now and try to piece together the puzzle.
Yeah, it'd be nice if some of the preseason was streamed.
Yeah. At DC United.
He's a player with pace, which is what the Losada system is looking for. I have always said that I am looking for defensive signings, and seeing some attention to that, and I think with a player who's pretty seasoned, has a championship, so he brings I think some good value. So I know some people are still scratching their heads about that, but I'm just interested to see how this turns out with him.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of defensive cover, we brought Brendan Hans-Hype back on a permanent deal.
Yeah,
I love that. He was one of my favourite players from last season in terms of the new guys that came in. He was just absolutely brilliant. It was a shame when he got injured for so long, and he did notice a hell of a difference between our backline from when he was playing and when he wasn't playing. Because Fred Brion, bless him, who was now retired, just could not keep up.
yeah.
Can't forget that hindsight goal that he had too.
Oh, on his debut.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was an absolute monster of a shot.
Yeah, it really was. That was a great introduction for Hernan in MLS, wasn't it?
Couldn't have been better.
Yeah, because you had that scorcher of a goal from BHI, and then Knaus with a volley from the outside, just outside the box. It's just superb. I'm looking forward to the first game on the 26th against Charlotte. Oh, and so many games that are going to be actually watchable for me over here. At a decent time.
The schedule finally worked out for you.
Apart from a couple of games where I think there's one which is on the West Coast. I can't remember which one it is, and it's midweek. I'm like,
but it's still better than. I mean, I remember there were a solid handful of games where you had to kind of piece out of the supporter group chat because you were like, it is 2:30 in the morning here. I cannot do this anymore.
No.
And so,
I'm on the U.S. East Coast, and it was too late for me.
Yeah,
the big one was the MLS's back tournament when we played Montreal, and it was 10:30 Eastern time for the kickoff, and I'm thinking, right, that's 3:30 in the morning for me. So I just went to bed early and got up, and that was me done for the day.
I was going to ask that: do you stay up or do you sleep and wake up?
When it was the 3:30 one, I think I went to bed at 8:30 in the evening, and then got up at 2:30, and then stayed up for the rest of the day. Otherwise, I'll just stay up through, and then go to bed at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 3-4 hours kid.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, my wife doesn't particularly enjoy that. When I get to bed and it's just me just clambering in bed. No. Yes. But the life of a supporter, eh? Gotta do it. Other transfers, obviously Taxi is coming in this. That's the summer one, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, he's joining apparently this summer. We shall see. Because he's been left out of the Rapid Vienna squad recently. So, rumour has it.
The season. Because otherwise it's just let us get him now.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to leave him out of the squad, just give him to us. Just give him to us. Even if we have to pay a small fee.
Listen, if you're not going to play him, over something internal, then just, all right, we'll take him.
Yeah, we'll have him now. Yeah. And then more recently, Estrada was signed for us as well, which that's, depending on where you look, where Reddit, Discords, our chat, mixed feelings about that one, especially in the run-up. People were unsure about what type of signing he was going to be. There was rumours that he was going to be a DP signing, but he's actually just a loan signing, so with an option to buy at the end, which I think is for $5 million. So, what do we think of that one? I mean, have you seen the sizzle reel with his bangers?
Oh yeah, those were very picked out highlights of his. I'm actually very happy about it because right now it's a loan and it's an option, so we don't have that much to lose.
Yeah.
A lot of people were banged on him because he had a good 2019, a bad 2020, and an average 21. And it's Just
think everyone had an average 2020 though, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just get the guy in. It's a loan. There's no need to get upset about it. Let's just see what we get.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with it alone. The option is literally an option. There's no mandatory part of it. So
yeah,
it's like the Abia signing that we had towards the end of last season, where we had him on loan. We potentially could have bought him. Obviously, the salary was obviously a big stumbling block, but we didn't have to, and he worked out quite well.
Yeah.
So, and Riddick's just rightly pointed out, the goal scorers in Ecuador against Peru World Cup qualifier last week were Estrada and Edison Flores.
Oh, that's nice. I'm a fan of that.
Yes, Shreddy Eddie. Because I'm gonna give Angus
talk about a change that happened.
Angus coined that one, so I'll give him that. But Shreddy Eddie, he's looking ripped.
He looked. Talk about changes during the offseason. That was really funny seeing those medical pictures. That was great. No, I'm with Tom on this one. It's a loan with an option. He's a young player, 25, and just another option up top. And that is, we'll have to see. I don't know where we're at with the Kamara saga on that, but if he's there, it gives him an extra push. And if he has another. What was it? 19 goal season. I'll be thrilled about that. But if we have options to go with, that's even better.
Yeah, absolutely. It all begs the question. Actually, how do we incorporate the attackers that we've got now? Because we've got Roberta.
Yep.
We'll have Estrada, Flores, Kamara, among other potential forwards as well. It's just what kind of formation are we going to go with? A 3-5-2? We're going to go 3-4-3. What are we going to do? So it's a good headache to have.
Yeah. Agree. I think what Losada is doing is he's planning for what happened last season, where we saw a lot of injuries, and he's like, I don't want to get stuck with not being able to field a good team of players.
Yeah.
I also think he's getting guys that are good at the press. So we're seeing a lot more. We're seeing a lot more attacking options and midfield options come in who are good for that kind of system.
Or we do what the attack is you go 2-1-7, goes Burr right up there. I think I think that's sort of the thing is Losada is trying to build a team where there are just always options. I think last season he did the best he could with what he had. And now he's like, okay, we're going to war now. And I'm going to put you through military training.
I know, right?
That was amazing.
You guys seen the clip, right?
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Wild.
Jeez. The fact that they're all wearing oversized shirts and just put through their paces.
I loved it. That's exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. He's taking, and I'm going to swear he was taking absolutely no shit in that preseason.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. And now they're over in California, sunning it up rather than the standard Florida, which is what we've seen for the last decade. Really properly changing things up, which I know when I had to earn on the show this time last year, he was saying that 2021 was going to be a transitional year. Don't expect to see many changes. It's just get settled in and see how it goes this year.
Yeah,
Losada ball is going to come in properly strong.
Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, 2022 is going to be it's going to be a good year. I am really, really excited for it. In terms of rumours, there's obviously that big one, which I don't think anyone wants. I've yet to speak to someone who thinks it's a good idea.
There is one person who thinks it's a good idea. Birnbaum needs a golf buddy. Birnbaum needs a guy he can call up on the weekend and be like, "Hey, can we hang?" He's missing Rooney.
He's a surprise. Daniel, do you want to know something? Because I don't think you were here when I was telling Tom earlier. I can ask him next week.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Birnbaum's on the show next week.
Yeah, let him know that comes from me. I want to know.
Well, you can tell that I'll go golfing with him if he wants, as long as we don't get Tevez. I've got no interest.
Tevez.
Anyone that goes from Man United to Man City is not.
Oh dear, I forgot about that.
Yeah, not one of mine.
But it's the go to China earn what was it, £600,000 a week?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I had a joke, when, a couple years ago, there was definitely an influence or, an influx of Argentinian personnel at DC. And, I would say, they kind of turned themselves into Boca Juniors Juniors or Boca Juniors Junior. And with Tevez, it's like, oh man, now we're just Boca Seniors with him now. And he's pushing 40 just about. And I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, that will really bring back the tag of MLS Retirement League.
Yeah.
And
I tell you what, though, older Tevez looks younger than young Tevez. If you ever look at him in his Man City years compared to how he looks now, I'm like, it's weird.
It's the shaved head. He just cut it all off. No, and he lost weight, and then City Tevez, and it's like, nope. He had the facial hair.
Yeah,
bit too many pies down. It was He looked like a big boy then.
Yes. So are we saying we don't want Tevez?
Don't want Tevez. Not even interested. I'm sorry, I'll be harsh.
Daniel, is there any universe you'd have Tevez?
I'd take him on a free.
Oh yeah, free. Yeah.
I mean, literally no contract.
Literally
no salary.
We'll pay to feed them, and that's it.
Give me if I can have all the GAM in the world to pay him down to the league minimum without having to worry about how I split that GAM elsewhere. Yes, in that situation, you get him on a free and you get unlimited GAM with him.
No, I'm just going to say no.
No.
Yeah. I mean, no.
It'd be great if it was 2010. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But, no.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
And Kim's just rightly said, you would still take a roster spot.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And an international roster spot, not just any roster spot.
Okay, fine. He gets his green card, and
really quickly.
Yeah, really quick.
It's actually part of his visa. It's a P1 visa green card.
He does it all in 2 weeks. That'd be amazing. I'd be more impressed. I'd be like, sign him. Yeah, he's doing that. Okay.
Actually, does he even speak any English at all? Because I don't think he spoke English when he was at any team in England.
He didn't speak English at Man United. I don't know about City.
He can say 4 birdie.
Eagle. Which is right. Which is good for DC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm around yelling Eagle.
He would be a screaming eagle.
I'd take him as a supporter group mascot, sure.
Oh, it will be better than Olsen's Furry Army, wouldn't it?
Oh my god! Oh, that's That's a deep cut right there. That's very good. I like that.
I was hoping I'd be able to bring that back at some point.
Put him in a raccoon suit. I love it.
Yes. Right. Any other sort of transfer stuff we want to talk about? Any MLS transfers? You know, like the fact that Douglas Costa is now a Galaxy player and Thiago Almeida is playing for Atlanta. It's just like
he was at Toronto Insignia.
So the general managers of Major League Soccer been playing Football Manager 2014.
It's sort of like the West Ham, the old strategy of West Ham, where his sons, the owner, used to just play Football Manager, and then his sons would tell him, "I like this guy," and then West Ham would go and buy him.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
It's the way to do it.
I mean, Football Manager is a Bible, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still need to get the new one. Oh well.
You do need to get the new one.
Is it much better?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. So you've got, just going off a tangent, but on my current save, so I started off as DC boss.
Of course.
You know, as you do. Didn't really get anywhere. Starting to do well, got some good youth academy players coming through. And I was getting a bit bored, so I just quit on my birthday. So I resigned as DC boss, went to QPR.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Got them promoted from League One as champions, first time with Askin. Got stuck in a bit of a rut there, so I decided to quit that one. Went to Nottingham Forest, who were in the Premiership. Weirdly. They had a new owner, a bit like the Watford owner. Got sacked after 33 days.
Oh, no.
Nice. That's the best.
I won one, lost two, and drawn 2 games or something like that.
That sounds exactly like what Watford does, though.
Yeah.
Watford, they average like 4 managers a year. It's absurd.
They wanted to call me into an emergency meeting to talk about performance. I was like, nah. Anyway, you've been sacked. I was like, oh, all right, okay.
Okay.
And now I've gone to their neighbours, Notts County.
Oh, brilliant.
So I've gone from the Premiership to League Two.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you bring up West Ham and Football Manager. At one point, Kurt Zuma was sort of like the wonder kid to get for a while in that game. And man, look where that got them now. So
yes, Kurt Zuma kicking a cat. Absolutely despicable. I don't know whether you guys have seen anything about it. I've just seen a photo. It looked horrendous.
Yeah.
But thankfully, he's had his cats taken off him, rightly so.
Good.
The club have fined him the maximum amount, which is £250,000.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother, who plays for Dagenham and Redbridge, if you even know where that is.
Ooh.
Incredibly random.
Yes.
Isn't that a north? What should we call it? Side. What league is that?
The Vanarama?
Yeah.
The Vanarama National League.
National North.
I think they're in the National South because if I remember rightly, they're in Essex.
Oh yeah, then they're going to be south.
Yeah. But he's been sacked.
Wow.
Oh.
So,
wow.
Yeah. I think the lesson is don't kick cats.
There's a great Netflix show. Don't.
Yes. Yes.
Should have watched it.
He should have watched it, yes. He should have watched it. Yes. That song now is tainted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Go and watch it. It was a great documentary.
Anyways, moving on.
Anyway, football.
Why?
This is the point of the show where we would normally get to talk about matches, but, we couldn't watch the last game.
Real
because,
quick. Real quick.
Pre-seed. Well, we won, so there you go.
Chris Kirkin.
A 17-year-old scored named Hopkins. That's all I got.
What is it now? Is it we're playing? Oh yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it now?
It's
Oh no, that's mid.
It's in an hour for Red Bulls.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was thinking. No, so Red Bulls later on. Who knows what's going to happen because yet again that's not being streamed. Thank you, DC United.
At DC United.
At DC United. So we can't really talk much about what that's going to happen. So, anything you want to talk about in terms of the upcoming season? Or should we just move on to what you want to talk about, Tom?
Yeah. I wanted to, as we don't have a lot of matches to preview or to review, I wanted to talk about an old legend. Well, not so old, as we had him about 2.5 years ago. DCU captain Wayne Rooney, and I wanted to talk about what he's been up to now. So he's currently the manager for Derby, which hasn't been an easy experience for him at all.
You pronounced it right.
Yeah, what do you think I was going to say? Derby?
Yeah.
No, it's Derby. Derby. So he ended up as the full-time manager without the owner telling him about the fact that they were about to go into administration and receive a financial penalty. So that's 12 points deductions in administration. You get 9-point deficit for their financial. So they started the season at negative 21 points. At that point, I would be ready to run away.
You would, wouldn't you? You really would.
I would be like, we don't have a chance. The owner didn't answer any of Wayne's calls when he first started the season, and everything with the penalties happened. The only way he was able to get to him was to call him from the team doctor's phone, and then he finally picked up. So the owner has been ducking for ages. Then he also decided to give his personal number to Derby's supporters group, just to have open line of communication, just to make sure he's staying open with them. He's paid for all the training equipment, all the away accommodations, and he's even washed game day kits and training kits and different parts of gear at his own house. So he's become the kit man as well. We all know that Frank Lampard has signed as the new coach at Everton, but they had also approached Wayne Rooney for the job, and he refused to even do an interview with them because he said that he had a good job with Derby that he had coming on, and he wanted to make sure he saw it through. He has given 20 academy players their debuts this season.
Wow.
Which is absurd because they've had a lot of players that they haven't been able to pay, so they've lost a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absurd. They have a record. They're currently in 23rd. They have a record of 9, 12, and 9, which with all the deficit points and all the players they've had to leave, a fantastic record. And they're only 4 points away from safety.
Yeah.
So we've all seen Wayne Rooney do some amazing things on the pitch. We can name a few, I'm sure, but a lot of people post a certain DC United clip.
I think it's every single thing is against Orlando.
Yeah, anything that's happened against Orlando is basically what we're talking about. I wanted to speak about him mainly because he was a DC, but he also has a documentary on the life of Wayne Rooney and his time in professional football that comes out on day of recording. This is February 10th, so it will be coming out tomorrow on February 11th on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And that is my quick blurb on a ex-DC captain.
Yes. It's just interesting. It's obviously, as you rightly say, his documentary is coming out tomorrow. So there's been a lot of stuff over here in terms of talking about his past career and things like that. And one of the things that was on sort of BBC Sport was about his mental health and his drink issues that he had whilst playing. And he was saying it got to a point where he knew he was either going to kill himself or he was going to kill someone else.
Yep.
So he had to do something about it. So I think now he's teetotal. So he's not drinking. And then there was another thing that came out where you might have seen about where he purposely injured someone.
Not just someone.
John Terry. So he went, played the first half, and he's wearing the standard studs, so the plastic with the metal bottom to them. And he went, I want to injure someone. So he replaced the studs with extra long, or the longest you could legally have in the league, full metal.
Yep.
And he lost a stud.
In
John Terry.
He put a hole. Yeah, he put a hole in John Terry's foot, and then a few days later, he signs the game worn kit, sends it to John Terry, and says, "Can I get my stud back?"
That's amazing. I love it.
And then John Terry's just, because obviously it's come back out on social media, and John Terry's now replied and said, "Is that the time where you lost your stud in me?"
Anyway, the doc tomorrow should be awesome. I'm excited for it. Don't tell my work, I've already blocked 2 hours off of busy time. So
nice.
Tut. You should be working hard here.
I work very hard. I work very hard. Thank you very much.
No, but that was good. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, of course.
It's always good to look back at sort of previous players and actually see what they're doing. And Wayne's just doing an unbelievable job over here with Derby County. It's great to see. I know the team who I support over here, Middlesbrough, they're actually suing Derby at the moment, which is not great because if that is successful, that's probably going to tip them over the edge into liquidation. Yeah. But it's. I can only wish the best for Derby, and hopefully Wen can do the impossible. And I would put that, if he saves them from relegation, I would put that up there with Leicester winning the Premiership in terms of actual proper achievement.
I was trying to think, what in his career would equate to the same, and
it really wouldn't.
I don't know if there's much.
No.
I mean, if he won a World Cup and was like the top scorer, then maybe Golden Boot winner, then that's pretty great.
Yes.
But I mean, to start -21 and to survive, that would be unbelievable.
And you got to remember, he got thrown in at the. I mean, obviously, just that start getting thrown in the deep end is bad enough. But he was player coach when he went to Derby, when he left DC.
Yep.
With Philip Cocu as the boss. Then he got sacked, and then Wayne was put in as interim. And then he's just been given this whole thing, and it's just like, how he's still going just says a lot about the man's mentality and how determined he is to actually see this through. He's not walked away from it. He's stressed. Yeah. I mean, you can tell why he's the same age as my wife. I can tell you now, my wife looks a hell of a lot younger than he does.
Yeah, no, he's got
He's younger than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's got the old managerial aging on him.
No,
that's one of my favorite things to do is to look at pictures of before and after for Man United managers, and it's just like 10 years.
Yeah,
in like a year. It's absurd.
Definitely. Right, Daniel. Tom's had his fun. This is, I did say I had an intro, but when I actually exported it, and the sound came out really badly, so we don't have an intro. But I'm going to introduce you.
No worries.
This is a new segment to the show, another one, because it's 2022. It's a new year, new season, new beginnings. This is MLS 101 with your professor, Professor Wise. Over to you.
Well, before I get my clock going, is it Chris Durkin?
I'm not sure. I'll wait the guess. All will be revealed at the end of the show.
Okay. Well, that's my
guess, though.
I'm going with that one. I cannot even remotely think of anyone else. But okay. Anyways, so Major League Soccer exists in sort of this bubble that operates completely different from most leagues around the world, where essentially teams kind of sit on a war chest of money that they pay salaries and transfer fees. Major League Soccer is highly limited in how much of a war chest teams can build up. In fact, in a sort of an effort to limit the kind of war chest that teams can use, they use allocated money that essentially, if you've ever seen the movie Brewster's Millions, where this guy, it's a Richard Pryor movie where a guy gets $1 million or $1 million, and he has to spend that within a year, and it has to be gone by that time. So in this way, GAM and TAM operate like this. Teams every so often every season they get an allotment of general allocated money, and they get this whether they're an expansion team comes on, so like teams will get like $100,000 in GAM if there's an expansion team, or per expansion team, and then they will also get GAM if they miss the playoffs. I think they get like $200,000. So this money is essentially used for salaries, so that teams can improve themselves without sort of getting into crazy financial situations. So Major League Soccer has what's called a salary cap or a budget cap, and that is somewhere around like 5.2 million, something like that. And that is flat for every team. But teams get general allocated money, and that, I believe the maximum they can get is about 1.9 million. And that can be used to buy down salaries for expensive players. So if they are bringing in a player whose contract goes above the league maximum of about $650,000, they are able to use that money to buy it down to that league maximum. And so they will sort of take whatever budget they have, and then they will use this general allocation to put that into different players. And then TAM is the targeted or discretionary targeted allocation money. And with that, it is essentially, it's money that like they get, it's a little larger than GAM. That goes up to about 2.7 million.
Okay.
Or 2.7 million. And the teams will use this to buy down the signings of designated players. So back in 2007 or 2006 mostly, teams had a very stringent salary cap. And what in 2007, when LA Galaxy wanted to bring in David Beckham, they essentially adjusted the financials to create the Beckham rule, where they get designated players and then an extra allocation of money to buy down those contract, or I guess the budget for those players. So year over year, that money has risen across the league, and so yeah, essentially what you get is like with the 5.5 million or so, you get just about double that in allocation money. And the thing where I sort of talk about the Brewster's Millions is for when you get allocated money, whether it's GAM or TAM, you have to use it within a certain window. For GAM, it's a bit shorter, where it is three. You have to use it within 3 transfer windows, and with TAM, you have to use it within 4 transfer windows.
Right.
And so this is essentially meant to create parity across the league, and to kind of keep it so that the league kind of stays afloat, essentially, where like, you don't have one team, sort of going above and, all the others, and then all of a sudden it just becomes an arms race, like what you see over in the big leagues in, England, Italy, those places. So yes, essentially Major League Soccer has very weird financial rules where teams have to stay at a cap, but then they are able to go slightly above that cap with money that's given through different ways, and they can trade actually allocated money. So GAM, that was sort of the thing with the Ariola deal, is that we got a lot of GAM money from that. So we've got about a year and a half to use our GAMs and the TAMs, and that's where that's MLS Finance 101 right there.
There's so many acronyms, it's just unreal. But, that makes it a little bit clearer. I don't think we'll ever get to a point where it's crystal clear, because, I don't even think Garber knows what GAM and TAM is. But, every little bit helps in the fact that there's certain, obviously, time frames that you've got to use it in. There's obviously certain amounts, and the fact that you can trade GAM for certain items as well. Because that's what we've, as you rightly said, we did with Paul Ariola. We also did with the international slot as well. We gave away 200,000 of our own GAM to buy that, basically. So it's fake money, in essence.
It's charity money.
Charity money. There we go. Because it does actually come from somewhere, doesn't it?
Yes, it is essentially it is. It's funny because I talk about how in world football, like football should be the most popular sport among libertarians because it is like dog eat dog. I have the most money and I can do whatever I want with it. Whereas like MLS is like this socialist hellscape. And I don't say this as someone who criticizes socialism, but it's like there are so many crazy rules where like all teams have to like stay at kind of this even level, and they have to do so much funny financial gymnastics to make it all work, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I love the fact that every team works at the same level, because you look at the competitiveness of the league and you compare it to pretty much any other league in the world.
Yeah.
MLS is so much more competitive. There's very rarely a team that wins MLS Cup twice in a row. And that is something that is fantastic. You look at Columbus Crew, who won it in 2020, barely made the playoffs in 2021.
Yep.
Kind of hoping that happens to NYCFC this year, because don't really like them. Sorry, Burnley.
Still got one before the Red Bulls.
I know, right? Yet they still don't play in New York.
Yeah, still don't play.
Or an actual football stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many things wrong with the New York. I'm going to use New York teams.
But even you've said, when I first met you and we sort of first started podcasting together, is that the point you made about you getting so interested in MLS is that degree of parity where teams you can't necessarily predict like who's going to be the top four at the start of the season. Anything can happen. You can have just wild swings where one season a team can win, Columbus Crew, they can win the whole thing and then just absolutely drop the following season. It's just crazy how fun it is to watch MLS.
Yeah, it really is. So that is the first ever MLS 101. Thank you, Professor Wise. We'll need some subjects for next week, so if you've got any ideas, do tweet them in. I have the Twitter handles just here for all of us. Look at that, just like that. So you feel free to either tweet me at DC United Kingdom. Daniel is S Dakota Soccer, and Tom is at Snitch McConnell. So feel free to tweet any one of us, and we'll put it on our list of MLS 101. But I think I'm going to add something to the list, and that is that we talked obviously about GAM and TAM and then designated players and things, but what types of contracts are there in MLS?
Oh,
so you've got your DPs.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got your
because you've got league minimum.
Yep.
What does that even mean? Because I don't think many people actually know what that even means out there. So if we can have a look at that one, if we don't get any ideas come in, we'll use that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it offline. See if there's anything we come up with. And if there's anything out there for you guys and you want to know, Professor Wise will tell all on the next show. And hopefully I'll have an actual intro by then. Or we'll have a little theme tune.
I love it.
Yes. I even might turn you into a professor. I might use my editing skills and make you into an actual professor. Let's see what happens. Right. It's time for some fan questions. We've got to the show. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. I think we've done quite well.
Start of the season, baby. It's always a long one.
So we've got some fan questions. And the first one It's coming up on screen there, but it's from Chris LD on Instagram, Chris LD5 on Instagram. And he asks, are we going to be seeing an inflow of new signings in the near future? Now, we've had quite a few transfers happen recently. Obviously, Estrada coming in, Taxi's been signed. Obviously, Paul and Kevin have gone recently. Brendan's come in. TKD's come in as well. Yep. Should we be expecting any more? And I know Goff's already said we're not signing a new keeper. That doesn't seem like it's on the cards. So, what do we reckon?
Maybe someone in the summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's when we're going to next see anything actually happen. I think potentially we could get one more. But that's going to be a maximum. It's going to be a maximum one more player. I don't see much else happening.
No, I think LaSalle's had a lot going on already, and I think he's happy with what he has. Maybe with this first half the season that goes through, we'll hit summer, and he's like, what I really need, and maybe that's where we'll see.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. What do you reckon, Daniel?
I would say so too. I know you've been saying in the chat, Tom, that you're looking for a number 8. It's one of those things where we have a very young midfield, and it's going to be one of those pictures that's going to be clearer, probably closer to the summer. And I think there is a plan. I think we had. Or the front office had to make the moves they had to make to, get some deals going so that when that time comes, we got all these gams to use, we're going to, have a good idea of where that goes.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Let's move on to the next question because there's quite a few we've got to get through. So thank you for everyone who sent them in, especially over on Instagram. That was great. So next one is from Soccer Subs Podcast. Let's go and check those guys out over on Instagram. I mean, they did ask, how do you feel about potentially signing Estrada? Now, I mean, obviously that in that short space of time since I put the story about getting questions in to the show happening, which is a matter of a couple of days.
Yeah.
Estrada is signed. So, I mean, we talked about it earlier, but just quick thoughts on Estrada signing. If you could rate it out of 10, what would you give him?
I would give it a 7, leaning on an 8, just because it's a loan right now.
Yeah.
Not a lot to lose.
Yeah.
I'm kind of going light 6 to a strong 7, or a strong 6 to a light 7, going with a needle drop rating there. Going back, it is it's a loan deal with an option, so there's not a whole lot to lose, and it's more options up front, which I think is what Losada is looking for.
Yeah. And I mean, the first number that popped into my head was a 7 as well. Again, same reasons. It's a loan with an option, not a lot to lose, and a bit more depth, which is what we've always been craving for here. Mm-hmm. I think if we average it out, it's probably going to be a 7.
Yeah.
So there you go. Next one is from Between Clean Sheets. So Cheyenne, who's been on the show previously. Biggest surprises in transfers. So let's tackle from both league wide and DC. So DC wise, biggest surprise in transfer.
I mean, maybe she was thinking that we would be signing Tevez by the time this came out.
Yeah.
If that happened, that would have been the biggest surprise. But I think probably Ariola going to Dallas for me. Mainly because there wasn't no big reason for him to leave, and it wasn't like he was being pushed out. Obviously Paredes is the big one, but we all knew it was going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
we were talking about Paredes moving before the season even ended. I mean, I think we were talking about that clear in August.
Yeah.
We were like, God, if he ends up to Man City and then NYCFC, oh, this is gonna be awful. Like we were losing our minds over that. So that wasn't a surprise at all, but definitely Areola moving on is yeah, that's heavy. That sucks.
Yeah. I think we're all in agreement. Areola. There's some. To me, it smells as something's happened in the background because he was an international whilst playing for DC United, so there was no need to think about that from that side of things. He isn't really going to get that much more exposure by playing for Dallas.
Maybe his family just want to move there. Like,
but what is in Dallas? Debbie does Dallas?
I could tell you.
Oh God.
Sorry.
I don't know. He just got engaged. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in his life. So I mean, only Paul knows why. And we could dissect it to death, but at the end, I think it's just what feels right to him.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised it wasn't abroad. I'm not surprised that he moved on, because as soon as he says he wants to go and make sure he gets that World Cup spot, then you're like, I mean, kind of understand why he'd want to leave and build up his reputation, but to go to Dallas?
Maybe just change of scenery. Maybe he's going to look better playing at Dallas.
Yeah, maybe
based on the system they use. I mean,
I don't know. It's
like you said. None of us. The only person who really knows is Paul.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to see, and maybe one day he wants to come and tell us on an interview.
You never know. I just have to keep asking because I've asked.
Right. In terms of, I know we were talking about DC, but in terms of MLS and Hull, I'm stuck between Insigne. Actually, no, it's got to be Insigne because Douglas Costa is a bit older. But Insigne is like, he could have
prime.
He could have kept going for a while. But I guess that's what we like to see is guys that are not retirement age coming to the MLS.
Yeah. Another surprise for me is Shaqiri.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Shaqiri is it Chicago?
Where was he, Roma?
He was at Lyon.
Yeah.
He's only been there 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't working out.
No. So, off to Chicago for him.
I'm so surprised how different your answers were from mine. I thought we were all going to say the same thing.
Go on.
Mine's Zilko to Chicago. That's wild.
But I wasn't expecting that. That's an answer I was not expecting.
He was quality for Philadelphia. And I was just very just very surprised that he would go from Philly to Chicago, but then also Chicago just pulling that out, and he's going to be a big impact for them. In fact, I had said it, and I'm making this call, is I think he's going to be like the move of the season for any of these teams, especially for Chicago. I think he's going to make a big impact there.
They're a team to watch for me this season.
Yeah.
They could be the surprise. After the last 3-4 years where they've really struggled, they've pulled out a few big name signings.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on them.
Yep.
I think they'll be in the playoffs this season. I think that's where they'll end up. But
they're going to be tough.
Yeah. You look at how New England's kind of shocked everyone last season with getting the record in terms of support shield points. and actually going through and getting as far as they did. I think that was a bit. I don't think people were expecting them to be that good. Don't think Chicago will be anywhere near that level, but I think there will be up there. So
yeah,
there you go. Speaking of league stuff, next question from Victor. Coming up, how many more wins do you predict this year compared to last year? Now, just to put
It's a tough one.
everyone's knowledge at the right level, we got 14 wins last season.
I mean, you'd like to see some progression for a manager, but it's a good team.
It's MLS as well.
Yeah. It's also the MLS. I mean, I feel like we could pick a number out of a hat, and that'd be a better chance of getting it right.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I want to say.
What was the full line? What was the full record line?
So 14 wins, 15 defeats, and 5 draws.
Only 5 draws.
Yeah, which is great for entertainment value.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, but you look at the rest of the league. So the teams that were above us. So directly above us was the Pink Cows. They only got 13 wins, but they had 9 draws. So they didn't have as many defeats. Orlando, 13 wins. Atlanta, 13 wins. New York City, 14 wins. Nashville, 12. Philadelphia, 14. The only team to have got more wins than us last year was New England Revolution.
Yeah.
They were.
So the thing that we need to eradicate is those defeats. So it's not a case of how many more wins, how many fewer defeats.
What was the game last season where we were up a goal, and then in the space of like 5-10 minutes, we literally let in 2 goals, and it was just like over with?
It happened a few times last season.
I can't remember but it was like really big downer. It was like a night ESPN.
Yeah, I think it was NYCFC.
It might have been.
The one that sticks in my head, because we were attacking on a corner, and we had a golden opportunity to score. I think Pines missed an absolute sitter, and then Sean Johnson threw it down. Talis Magno sprints down the lane.
Yeah, because there was that Orlando match too that still sticks in my head.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's sort of the thing is like the Losada system is huge risk and reward, and I think with just a slightly faster, and more spry backline, I think, I'm with Tom. I think it's about mitigating those losses. And so however that, the rest of that gets distributed between wins and draws, I think I want to see less than 10 losses this season. That's my challenge. Yeah.
So if we were looking at that, just to get compared to last season, that's with Orlando, Atlanta, Orlando, Atlanta, Nashville, Philadelphia, New England.
Yeah.
Who had less than 10 defeats. Nashville only had 4.
Nashville was...
Did they tie like 20 games?
18. Not far off. 18 times they drew. I mean, they were the king.
I'm a bit jealous of that because 5.
They went undefeated at home last season.
Leicester City themselves into the playoffs.
I mean, we need to learn how to either kill games or just play the most Burnley defense in the league.
I mean, you look at those 2 games that me and Daniel just talked about. If we just hunkered down and got those 2 points, we would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that.
we would have beaten the Pink Cows to the playoffs.
And everything changes in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really does. So we would have been in there, and we would have been playing Philadelphia. So we would have been knocked out in the first one.
Yeah,
anyway, but
those were nightmare games last season.
Yeah. So,
yeah, they
so there you
just
go.
know how to pick us apart.
Yeah.
So next question. It's from Tom Lice again, over on Instagram. He asked, "How would you rank position depth for DCU right now? Strongest to weakest? Weakest. I'm going to start there. Goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's a couple
When you
out
got when
players.
your Kempin is number 2. I'm sorry,
I
John.
can't believe they announced his re-signing. I was like, why'd you tell anyone? You should have just kept it quiet. I don't understand why they announced it because it just made everyone angry.
I've reached this point where I feel bad for him. I'm like, man, he's getting the worst of soccer Twitter, and like soccer Twitter is the worst.
I mean, to be fair, I did a little post on the website about it, and he liked the tweet.
There you go.
Hey,
Kevin, if you're an avid follower, we support you.
But please, work out on your hand strength.
Please. There's too many.
Please.
Just use your fingers and just go.
Let's hope that SWAT training helps.
Yeah. I was reading the blurb from the Inter match where he played, and he apparently actually did really well.
I mean, if you
So-
can turn it around, I'm all for it. He could be the Kamara of 2022.
But with clean sheets. Who knows?
How many percent was that, Daniel?
Yeah, this season I'm at a solid 1,000.
Yeah.
If he doesn't come out screaming this season, I don't want him to be stagnant till like mid-June. So yeah, he has to come out. Otherwise, I am all about Estrada. At that point, I want a hat trick in those first 3 games, or else I'm like no.
So we're gonna say keeper is our worst in terms of depth.
Yeah.
What's our strongest in depth? Is it midfield, attack, or defense?
Attack?
Yeah.
Just so many options. The nice thing is if someone is really having a wash of a season, just put in the other guy.
It's nice to have that now.
Yeah, I mean, we're not relying on one guy being like, all right, well, maybe this time he'll get together. But yeah, and then actually an argument back. Sorry, it's just popped in my head. Back to Mickey's in terms of depth. I'm thinking about midfield too. There's not a lot.
No, it's true.
Goalie as long as Hamid stays healthy, we're okay.
Yeah.
But if he isn't, it's calamity.
Yeah.
Whereas midfield, there's more of a chance of an injury.
Yeah.
And, you're going to be subbing someone into midfield more than likely, and especially more than likely subbing a goalkeeper in, right? So, I mean, I'm worried about that midfield. I wonder how, all my teams, man, midfield.
Yeah.
All my teams. I'm sick of it.
Can you stop following DC United then, please?
Yeah, I know. I need to stop.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it. We've got, obviously, Knaus, Nyman.
See, that's the problem.
Garay. TKD.
Yeah.
That's 3 youth players
Yeah.
and 1 senior player. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else.
That's my worry.
Yeah. So maybe that's who our next signing could be.
Then it better be before June.
You never know. Yeah. Next question.
You might want a change of scenery.
Tevez might play into midfield.
Yeah, as a CDM.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tevez,
No,
Yeah.
we answered that one.
absolutely not.
I explained the scenario in which I would take Tevez, and it is convoluted at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rithik, thank you for the questions because you've sent in a few questions in. Next one was, when do you expect to see a third DP, if at all, and will it be a direct Areola replacement? Summer is my answer to when.
Yeah, and I feel like what we just talked about with the midfield, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. I don't think we'll get a DP to replace Areola.
No.
I think it will be a solid central midfielder.
Yeah, that's.
I can't think who it would be, but
Modric.
You know, Nemanja
Ozil.
Matic is out of June. I'm not saying I want him. I'm just saying. Speaks 5 languages. Great family man. Always looking for a new team. Slow as anything.
Oh. So I'm going to start coughing in a second.
Oh boy.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm back. It's fine. It was just a quick one. That's what she said. I'm sorry, I can't believe I just said that. I haven't even had any beer yet. Disappointed. I'm technically unemployed at the moment, so I could drink whatever, whenever I want, but yeah. Sticking on the H2O. Next question from Rithik, and it's the last question. Which area of the teams need to be strengthened? Oh, I think we've answered that one as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Midfield and keeper. Any names in particular that you'd like the club to sign?
Oof.
Modric, Ozil, Tevez.
If we're talking realistics, okay, now I can't think of anyone that would be realistic.
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
Diego Costa. That's my name. That's the name I'm taking.
Diego Costa. I don't want another striker.
But yeah, he's a striker again.
I mean, he would be okay in midfield too. He would just have
exactly. I take him over Tevez.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a tricky one. Who would we bring in?
I can only think of center midfielders that I would want. I mean, that's it. No one else.
I mean, I'm sure Pogba's contract's coming up.
He's leaving for free. I don't think DC's on the horizon for him.
No.
You know who we could get, which I actually wouldn't mind, and you're all gonna tell me to go somewhere else. Is I wouldn't mind if we stole Matuidi.
I feel nothing.
Daniel's reaction.
I feel nothing off that. I mean, I remember him being good a long time ago, and
he's all right.
Sorry, did you see what Nahar did to him?
Yeah. But they'll be together now. They'll be best friends.
I'm just gonna look at you like this.
Fine, whatever. Fine. Ignore me.
Actually, I'm gonna do this.
You have to do the LeBron James. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just gonna point.
I'm giving you the finger wag.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. But we need someone. I'm worried about it.
Yeah, we need someone to show up that midfield alongside Knaus.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Nahar could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a bit of a utilitarian kind of guy. He can play anywhere.
He's just a where do we need someone?
Yeah.
You know.
As long as it's not a panic buy. If it's a if it's a smart move, it doesn't necessarily need to be a crazy good player. Midfield just needs some depth. It needs some seasoning, and that's about all they need there.
Would you take Moreno back?
Yeah.
I was disappointed that Felipe left there. I think that's someone who
but I mean, consider the fact that he put in a solid run with the team. I mean, what was it? Like that was probably his second, third season with the club last year.
Third season.
Yeah.
What about Fernandinho? Sorry.
Sorry. Who are you saying?
Ignore me. I'm looking at guys that are out of contract end of.
Have you just loaded up Football Manager?
No.
He's on Transfer Market.
But someone who's actually not a bad. We could get Fernandinho.
I mean, we haven't got a Zimmer frame for him.
No, we don't. That is the issue.
Yeah, and isn't he a centre back these days?
No, he plays CDM usually. He only plays center back because they had so many injuries.
And he was better at centre back than CDM.
I mean, he's just good at fouling people. That's why I miss Felipe.
Ramos.
No.
Yeah.
Why? Will not let this happen.
Because I know that makes you angry. I love it.
Oh, no, thank you.
Ramos, why not? Pepe. Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the questions. We've made it through. We've gone into extra time.
Yeah.
We've gone through for 90 minutes. We're into extra time now. We've gone past injury time. We've gone past Fergie time. So let's wrap things up. So, as I've already put up on screen before, actually, no, we need to do the Guess DC Who. So, any final thoughts?
So mine's terrible because I know it doesn't work, but it says in terms of not cheating.
Yeah.
In terms of not cheating, this is how far I got. I wouldn't let myself cheat, but I wanted to. But I don't even think he plays anymore. Or he hasn't played for like 4 years. Eddie Johnson.
He definitely doesn't play. He's Donovan Pines' agent.
Yeah, so he definitely doesn't play. See, this is why you should let me cheat.
And Daniel, are you sticking with Chris Durkin?
Sticking with Chris. And here's the thing. I did a quick scroll of I searched DC United players on Google, and I just went just to see, just to get a refresher of names. And that is the only one I can even remotely connect to this.
So, you ready? Ready for the answer?
Absolutely.
Because you're both wrong.
Good.
But it has been mentioned in this show, this player.
Oh, God, what? Who is
it? So this player who was born in Indianapolis, who played for Chicago Fire, Premier, moved to DC United. When he moved to the UK, he played for Hearts.
Wait, so it was Kitchen.
Yes, it was. I wasn't going to give it away.
Well, okay. Well, that was my first answer, and that has to be it. So I win.
Oh well, if this was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you'd be walking out with zero money.
I was going to say Daniel technically cheated.
Yes, he has admitted to cheating. He coughed.
Even if my answer was completely wrong, I believe I will take this victory. And, call it a day.
Stick around for next week where we have more plays.
I still, here on my end, I still have a debt to collect from James.
Oh, anyway, that's the end of the show.
Record calling from last season. I still need to see you in a Red Bulls kit.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You're breaking up on me. You're breaking up.
I'm going through it out.
I mean, you either wear it or I'm gonna Photoshop it and put it everywhere.
So. Oh, I can do a really good Photoshop.
Either way.
I mean, I could just Photoshop myself into it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to see you supporting your true love.
I mean, it's a team in red and white. That's the only thing I can go with on that because everything else is just pure hate. Anyway. So we've done that now. So let's wrap things up. So everyone out there, thank you for listening. If you're still listening, well done. We made it through 100 minutes. Fair play. If you listen to us for 100 minutes, I think you deserve an award. If you've been watching and you've watched entire, again, fair play. If you skip through, I'm not going to argue. But it's been a pleasure to get back onto this and doing this after a few months off. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Daniel, for being the regular co-hosts on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will throw it up on the screen, but for those who are listening, where can people find you?
Yeah.
And Daniel, you go first.
Yeah. On Twitter. I mean, here's the thing. I probably don't have the best social media to follow, but on Twitter,
it's an anime at the moment.
Okay, my Twitter is oftentimes, just kind of saying random things that come to my mind, or retweeting soccer things. But if you want to see anime girl heads on top of soccer players, come to my Instagram. It's my new art installation project that I'm doing. It's anime soccer boys. It came to my mind because there's a old Japanese game called Tokimeki Memorial, which is a Japanese high school dating game, and I've been kind of obsessing over it because of a YouTube video, and because of that, I just want Football Manager, but as a Japanese dating sim. I want Inazuma 11 Manager. I just want Football Manager with anime. That's where I'm at right now.
So would there be an achievement for a Katsumi kicking cat?
No, no. I can't. There's no cat kicking. In fact, there's none. This is family friendly. For that, it's where I'm at. So if that sort of vibe, warms your tea, then come hang out.
There we go. If you want to see some anime, there you go. Go follow Daniel. Tom, where can they find you?
Nice and quick. You can follow me as shown on the screen at Snitch McConnell, where if you like listening to someone complain about either sports or the U.S. government, I am your guy. So come free and have a look around, and feel free to send some bees my way.
Nice. There you go. And as you can see as well on screen for Twitter, for me, it's at DC United Kingdom. And same on Facebook and Instagram, just add in FC on the end, as you do. You guys are in on the DC UK group, which is awesome. The private group is always banging. It has been throughout the entire off season, which is fantastic.
It's been very active.
Yeah, it's great, especially in the early hours, where when you wake up to about 72 notifications.
Yeah, I had to mute it.
Yeah. But if you want to come and join in on the group chat, come join us at DC UK. It's dcunitedkingdom.com/membership. And last but not least, subscribe and like. That's not the last but not least. If you want one of the jerseys that Daniel, Professor Wise, is absolutely looking great in, head to bit.ly/DC UK Cherry. The links are in the show notes, so feel free just to click through on those. But it is gorgeous, and if you're listening to the show, head to the Twitter page. You'll see it up on there somewhere in the media links. It just looks fantastic. So yeah, there we go. That's it. We're almost at 1 hour 45. So thank you again for everyone for listening. And until next time, Vamos United.
Vamos United.
Cheers, guys.